In the stillness of a pre-dawn forest, the air hums with a quiet tension. Beneath the weight of the sky, something ancient and unseen moves through the shadows. This is not the time of day for most creatures. It is the hour when the world holds its breath, and the unseen becomes the only thing that remains. In this quiet, the ground is not empty. It is a place where something ancient, something forgotten, has left its mark. These are not the tracks of any known creature. They are the remnants of a time when the world was still young, and the earth was ruled by beings we can only imagine. This is the story of a creature that once roamed the dark, a creature whose name is lost to time, but whose traces remain, waiting to be found. We're talking about a time when the world was cloaked in darkness, and life moved in whispers, not shouts. The dinosaurs, those ancient titans, found their own quiet corners of the earth, where the moon held more power than the sun. In the deep of night, beneath the weight of stars, the nests were built, not for show, but for survival. A place where the young could rest, hidden from the eyes of predators and the cold of the world. These nests were more than shelter. They were a testament to instinct, to the quiet determination of creatures who ruled the earth before us. A silent promise that even in the dark, life would go on. We're not just talking about bones or fossils. We're talking about stories buried in time, waiting to be uncovered. Stories of a world that lived in the dark, and survived because it knew how to sleep. This isn't just about the past. It's about how we too find our own hidden places in the world, where we rest, where we grow, where we let the darkness shape us into something more. It's not just about the dinosaurs. This is a story about survival, about how life adapts, about how the world changes, and how we're still here because of it. Every fossil we find is a whisper from the past. It speaks of a time before us, of creatures that once roamed the earth, and of the delicate balance that allowed them to thrive. If we ignore the past, we risk repeating its mistakes. This nest, this nestling, this fragile life, they are not just relics. They are warnings, lessons, and echoes of what we might become. You may not be a paleontologist, but you are part of the story. The same story that shaped these creatures, that shaped the world, and that will shape the future we leave behind. We begin in the shadow of the Cretaceous, where the sky burned with the glow of a dying sun. The land was a tapestry of ferns and flowering plants, alive with the hum of life that would soon vanish. Tyrannosaurs roamed the plains, their massive forms casting long, dark silhouettes against the fading light. Dinosaurs, once the rulers of the earth, now moved in the twilight of their own making. The last days of the dinosaurs were not marked by chaos, but by a quiet, creeping silence. The world they knew was changing, and they could not stop the tide of time. As the final light faded, the world went dark, and with it, the great age of the dinosaurs came to an end. Their nests, their bones, their songs, left behind in the silence of the earth. We move swiftly through the ages, from the last breath of the Cretaceous to the first light of the Cenozoic. The world turned, and the dinosaurs were gone, leaving only echoes in the stone. This is the speed run of history, a glimpse into the quiet, solemn end of an era. The Nessus dinosaurs' nocturnal nesting narrative is not just about the past, but about what remains and what is lost. So imagine you're a tiny dinosaur, all warm and sleepy, curled up in a big, soft nest. It's dark outside, but you're safe inside. You don't know the stars are out, or the moon is shining. All you know is that you're warm, and you're not alone. You just want to sleep, and the world feels safe. Everything is quiet, and you're protected by your family, even if they're not there. You don't think about the dangers outside. You're just small, warm, and safe. That's all you need. And in that moment, the world is just you, the nest, and the quiet hum of the earth beneath you. The first step is the setup. A quiet, dimly lit hollow in the forest, where the air is thick with the scent of damp earth and decay leaves. It is a place where time seems to slow, and the world feels like it holds its breath. Here, the mother dinosaur digs with careful precision, using her claws to carve out a shallow indentation in soil, a sacred space for the future of her lineage. She lays her eggs with reverence, each one a delicate eggshell, cradled in the warmth of the earth, a fragile vessel of possibility. The nest is camouflaged, hidden from the eyes of predators and the indifferent gaze of the world. It is a sanctuary, a place where the past and future meet in a fragile, silent accord. This is the beginning of a cycle, one that has endured through time, through storms and seasons, through the rise and fall of empires, and the quiet decay of memory. The second phase begins with the mother's rhythmic rocking, a slow, deliberate motion that mimics the gentle sway of the earth itself. Her body becomes a pendulum, swaying back and forth with a quiet reverence. Her tail, long and sinuous, drapes over the nest like a shadow, brushing the ground with each movement. It is both a stabilizer and a signal, a silent command to the nest's stillness. As she sways, the nest itself begins to vibrate, a subtle resonance that runs through the earth and into the bones of the eggs. It is a pulse, a heartbeat shared between mother and offspring. The mother's breath grows heavier, slower, as if she is breathing not for herself, but for the eggs. Her body hums with a low, resonant frequency that echoes through the nest's chamber. In this moment, the nest becomes more than a place. It becomes a living, breathing entity, a vessel for the life to come. The mother's movements are not just physical, but a form of ritual, a sacred act of preparation. The nest is not just a place, but a moment suspended in time, where the warmth of the eggs mirrors the last breath of the mother. It is a final act of love, a quiet defiance against the cold void. The clever twist lies not in the construction of the nest, but in the intention behind it. It is a silent pact between parent and offspring, a promise that even in absence, the bond remains. The nest is a paradox, a tomb and a cradle, a monument to loss and a symbol of hope. It is a last echo of a parent's presence, carried forward in the silence of the deep. In the stillness of the night, the nest becomes a beacon, not of life, but of memory. It is a place where time folds in on itself, and the past is never truly gone. This is not just a nest. It is a story, told in stone and silence, a narrative written in the language of the vanished, waiting to be read by those who dare to listen. Beneath the weight of time, we trace the echoes of ancient life through the quiet precision of science. Fossilized bones and sediment layers are the remnants of a world that once pulsed with motion, now frozen in the stillness of memory. Each footprint, each tooth, is a silent testimony to an existence that defied the limits of its era. These remains are not just relics, they are the fragments of a narrative written in the language of survival and adaptation. The science that brings these stories to life is not just about discovery, but about understanding the rhythm of a world that no longer exists. It is a hum beneath the surface, a resonance of what was and what could have been. In the quiet spaces between the data points, there is a kind of poetry. A single bone, a single footprint, holds the weight of an entire epoch, waiting to be translated into meaning. This is the science that hums beneath the surface of our understanding. A quiet, unbroken thread connecting us to the distant past, to the creatures that once roamed the earth in silence and shadow. We built this world on the bones of the past, and yet we still don't understand it. We name the stars, but we forget the sky was once dark. The dinosaurs did not vanish. They were never here to begin with. We just filled the silence with their ghosts. We are all Nessus in our own way, carrying the weight of what we think we know and the burden of what we never truly understood. So let's not be so quick to name the stars, or the bones, or the moments we think we've got figured out. Sometimes the dumbest analogy is the only one that gets us closer to the truth. Before you go, if you enjoyed this, please give it a like, and subscribe so you don't miss the next one. And tell us in the comments what you'd like us to make next. We read every single one. Thank you so much for watching. Comment this emoji if you made it to the end.